Hey guys, welcome back to Declare Independence. My name is Eric. It's been a while. This video we're going to talk a little bit about what's happened over the past few weeks, what legal actions, if any, Trump has left, and lastly, what the heck is going to go on what the heck is going to go on January 5th and January 6th. So let's get right into it. I've been on vacation. My wife and I went to Peru and then Brazil, and then Disney World, all the places that would actually let you live freely. Yes, we wore masks, and in Peru we actually wore a mask and a face shield over your face so anytime you're on domestic transportation. And yes, we complied because we believe every business has the right to do whatever the heck they want. However, there hasn't been a lot on the election forefront for a while. I listen to, if you ever want to feel really patriotic, just listen to War Room with Stephen K. Bannon. It definitely makes you feel like excited to be an American. I don't know how much I agree or believe everything that they discuss on the show. They definitely have every right-wing pundit they can find to give their insight. What I will say is we got two really important dates coming up in the next few weeks. So December 20th came and went, and that to me was a telling sign that them watermarks ain't real, bro. Steve, I think I got his name right now, Steve Pieczenik, is that right? His Twitter feed has just turned into a meme fest. And I wanted to give him credibility and credence, but when he goes on the Alex Jones show and Alex Jones goes, Steve, that sounds like some QAnon conspiracy. When you hear Alex Jones start talking like that, then like he doesn't even believe the things he's hearing, even though he claims that Steve has given him quality information over the years. I mean, it at least has to tell you something. If there is a watermark conspiracy, some way, somewhere that just hasn't come to fruition after an executive order in 2018 that Trump signed allowing him to put safety measures into the ballots in all 50 states, if that wasn't done, then Trump literally deserves to lose. And if it was stolen from him, it was stolen fair and square. That's my personal opinion. Not that I believe cheating and stealing is right, but if you are the sitting president, you have the ability to put in safety measures, I mean, and you don't do it, or if you did do it, somehow you just make no mention of it at any point in time, you deserve to lose. But so December 20th came and went. The enough electors were certified to produce a Biden victory. However, January 6th is when the electorates certify their votes. And so January 6th, Alex Jones is calling for 10 million patriots to show up to Washington, D.C. And I don't know, stop these people? Like, by what means? If you're not permitted to go inside of a building where this is taking place, I don't really know what they intend to do. Is it just like enough support for President Trump that President Trump's like, you know what? Since you 10 million people showed up, I'm going to bring forth the evidence about the watermarks. I wasn't going to do it, but since I know there are enough people that love me, I don't know, man. I really don't know I certainly would not be there. Not that I'm against anyone I love DC, to be honest. There's no bad reason to go to National Mall. And if you feel that you're being patriotic by doing so, I encourage you to show up. Motorcycle, bike, plane, train, doesn't matter. You can walk there. I just won't be present. I got work and I got real things to accomplish. Can something be done? As I understand, and remember, I'm no journalist. I'm just a guy who reads and listens to people that claim they know. Sometimes I'm regurgitating false information, like has been the case a few times. Mike Pence is the one that actually counts the votes. The sitting vice president is the one that counts the electoral college votes. And so when he was talking to Turning Point America a couple days ago, he's saying we're going to fight until the very last second. So he hasn't thrown in the towel. And I think it's awfully strange that the sitting vice president is the one counting the votes essentially for himself. If he can get reelected, that he has the ability to make it so he wins. I don't know how that works. I don't know the legal ramifications of Pence saying, "Hey, you know what? There's a pipe leak and we're going to shut down the building until 4 a.m. I'll finish the votes when you guys are gone, and I'll kind of make sure that that Biden. Oh, actually, turns out I won. It turns out Trump and I won. You guys just weren't here to see it, and we threw out all your poll watchers. But I promise you, the vote is accurate. I don't know if he has the ability to do that or not. But I do know that he thinks there's still a chance that he's going to be the vice president in a couple weeks, which is fantastic. Makes for fantastic TV, that's for sure. The day before that, January 5th, is the runoff elections in Georgia. And this is a fascinating development because you got basically Trump by himself. Like, there's hardly anyone going to bat for Trump. And I know that Pence has been down in Georgia campaigning on behalf of the two Republican candidates, Perdue and Loeffler. And I don't really know what's going to happen. Right now, they're just like every poll shows, Republicans are getting smashed in the polls. I think which makes no sense that Perdue's down 5 in the polls after he won. He won the election. Like, there's just him, one other dude, and the Libertarian guy that got like 2 or 3%, which made it so no one got to 50%. But I mean, the sample size is large enough to say that he got like 49.8% or something. So you'd think that he'd get close to that, but I wonder how much of the Trump support is just not going to show up, just not going to turn up. Because if you didn't like Trump and you didn't vote for Trump, but you also are conservative, and then thus you voted for the Republican candidate, like, you're still going to do that. But those people that came out and voted solely because of Donald Trump, and thus voted red down ticket, those people may not show up. The other caveat is, I don't know how fast they could get out mail-in ballots to redo this thing. So is it going to require everyone to show up to the polls this time rather than having a month to sit on a mail-in ballot? That's a fascinating development, because if that were the case, I would think that the red team would have an overwhelming advantage, regardless of what any poll says, because we know in every state, red or blue, that the in-person voting heavily favored Republicans, and the mail-in voting heavily favored the Democrats. So if there's not a huge coalition of mail-in voting taking place this time, I'm not really sure how the polls could show an overwhelming advantage for the blue team, but that remains to be seen. If and then I heard this too. Like, are people that are planning to show up, hardcore Trump supporters from Georgia, do they care enough about their election, or do they care about President Trump? Are they going to vote on January 5th and then drive overnight to be in D.C. on January 6th, or do they go a couple days early on January 3rd to D.C. and they just skip out on the election for Senate because they just don't care? If the blue team wins both of those runoff seats, and and the election goes how it looks like it's going to go, that means essentially, not necessarily, but essentially, we could see this radical shift in America with three branches of government. I know there's a Democratic senator from West Virginia who basically votes conservative on every fiscal issue, anyways. And so I could see, and social issue. I think he realizes he's in hot water. There's no chance that he gets elected if he doesn't switch his party, or he just basically votes red team. on every ballot until his election comes to pass. I think in 4 years, not 2 years. So he's got 4 years to play the field. But other than that, there aren't any votes that the Republicans could even possibly count on, especially when you have homegirl from Maine and Mitt Romney, Susan Collins and Mitt Romney, basically on the blue team. So in the coming years, if it really is a blue, not a wave per se, but if it's blue all the way down ticket from the House to the Senate to the presidency, there goes your court. Your court's getting stacked. And every radical shift that they want to make in this country, they're going to have zero opposition to do so. And that's a scary thing. Not that change is always bad, right? Change isn't always bad in this country, but what is bad is when there is absolutely no opposition. That's a really scary thing, because it's those balances of power that keep the country from shifting too far in any one direction. That there's always some a way for things to be checked. And for the longest time, really the only voice that conservatives have had has been the Senate. Because the Senate, whether you like it or not, whether you like to hear this or not, the Senate is kind of reflective of the Electoral College in a way, that Wyoming has 2 senators just the same way that California does, which doesn't represent population at all. Which lets you know that we're not a federalist nation. We're a very state liberties nation, where Wyoming can do whatever the heck they want, and their 2 people have just the same voice as California does whatever the heck it wants. And people like to think that it's not the case, that the federal government decides everything and the president is in charge of everything. It's just not true. It's just not true. So, but a majority in all 3 branches of government is gonna, if you were afraid for Biden to get elected, and you're gonna be real afraid if January 5th comes and goes and blue team wins both of those seats, whether you are a Democrat or a Republican, because I don't think every Democrat supports every radically social issue that is being pumped out of left field in the squad, but the voices, the loud minority is has enough push that they can, the cronyism at the top of the blue team is no match for the SJWs coming out of left field. So we're going to see some interesting things. I want to know your opinions, your thoughts. If you really think that Mike Pence, and I'm sure you've heard the clips on Turning Point America. If you haven't, go ahead and check them out. That secret meeting that the president had with, I think it was around 15 House reps, talking about how they're going to win this thing. I don't know, man. Do you think a coup is upcoming, or there is something that I haven't seen? Because obviously the media is not going to cover it, but that doesn't mean you can't, you can't see these things. Let me know what you think. I think we got about 2 more weeks until the wild ride's over, and I wouldn't be shocked if they had to keep Biden in a shield, in a Pope mobile to come out for the inauguration if things are going to go the way they're going to go right now, and if it were overturned, it'd be even worse. Trump would have to be in a laser force field shield to make sure that he lived through the State of the Union. Anyways, I appreciate you watching up to this point. If you like what I'm talking about and you feel like you want to pop some popcorn and watch it with me, go ahead and click that subscribe button and like that video so I can get my content out to more people. Thanks so much for watching. God bless. Have a great one.